After never losing a game in his high school career, Harrison West was the #1 rated safety in his graduating class. He also received a scholarship to about almost every single college in the nation, and he had a hard decision to make on National Signing Day. After reviewing all of his offers, Harrison West really wanted to go to a school where he could immediately start and make a great impact. After a long and hard thought process, Harrison West thought the best school for him to succeed at was a school he grew up watching all the time, the Oregon Ducks. Oregon did offer Harrison the starting safety role, which did help his decision. Since Harrison decided late on which college he wanted to attend, he was stuck with the number 16, although he always wanted a single-digit number. Already having a starting role, Harrison did not want to get lazy in practice. He wanted to show his teammates why he came to the school and what he could do to change his defense around. The Nike Pro training facility here in Oregon was also a big impact on Harrison West coming here. It also made practice 10 times better. The preseason polls had Oregon ranked at number 9, and we would love to improve that and build on a great season of maybe make that college football playoffs. In our first game of the season, we would be taking on the Virginia Cavaliers, who we could definitely not underestimate. We would start on defense, and on the first play of my collegiate career, we would get a tackle on the running back for 3 yards, and Harrison West is feeling himself already. Later in that same drive, they would take an outside zone, and we would hit stick the player for our hardest hit of our career, even taking our teammate alongside with him. We were still looking for our first stop of the season, and we would blow up this quarterback option play, and even on 3rd and 13, we would take a sack on the quarterback and easily get a stop on defense. Later in the game, our offense has been unstoppable. On this outside run, we would go for the tackle but miss it, but thankfully our teammates were there for another tackle for loss, and we would force another punt here after a 3rd and 8, and this game is feeling like it's over. Before the half was over, they were trying to get some quick points on the board, and we were starting to go on some safety blitzes and hit the quarterback. They would hurry up the same play, and I would juke out the guard and get our first sack of our college career. We would win our first game in a blowout fashion against Virginia, and we would end with 5 total tackles, 3 tackle for losses, and 1 sack. Moving into game number 3, we would be now the 8th ranked team, but we would be taking on the number 20 Tennessee Volunteers in a tougher matchup here. After begging our coach to play special teams, he would start us in our second game against Tennessee, and we would pick up a nice little 25 yards here. Late into the first quarter, Hendon Hooker would hit his wide receiver across the middle for a lot of yards here, which would later lead into a field goal to take a 3-point lead. This being a very low-scoring game, we had to keep getting stops on one of the highest-powered offenses, and we sack Hendon Hooker, and we need to go get some points on the board. Almost halftime, we would get another stop here on 3rd and 8 where Harrison West would chase down the running back, and Harrison West and the defense are definitely outplaying themselves. Even in the second half, we were getting stops after stops after stops, and our offense could just do nothing against this Tennessee defense as we get another stop right here. Hendon Hooker would hit us with a deep corner out on the right side for a first down, and they would be inside of the 10-yard line, which would later lead to another field goal. And this is still a one-possession game. We need our offense to help us out here. Trying to spark a little bit of momentum for our offense here, we did take a kick return to the outside, and we were down the sideline, but not enough speed as we would only go for 39 yards. That little boost of momentum would help our offense to score their first touchdown of the game, and we were looking to get a stop with only a minute and a half left, and Hendon Hooker would try us deep. Only needing a field goal, they would run a running back screen to the left side, but fall short of the first down and would pass later on 4th. And this is for the game. We're going to get a sack on Hendon Hooker to end it all. After starting off the season undefeated and beating a number 20 ranked Tennessee team, we did move up to number 4, and we had another hard opponent up next. In our next game against Cal, we were up 7 points in the 4th quarter, and we were looking to get another stop right here. And on 3rd and 9, we were going in for a quarterback sack, and boom, our defensive end gets him. Still playing special teams, we want to get ourselves in good field position to win this game, and we are going to muff the punt and turn the ball over, and it looks like this game is going the other way. With 2 minutes remaining in the 4th, we needed to hold them to 3, but they're going to hit a wide open pass on the left side and tie this game up, and Harrison West is pissed knowing this is his fault. Luckily, our offense would score, and we need to get one more stop to win this game, but the quarterback is going to find a wide open player, and they were almost at the 50-yard line. We were desperate to get one more stop to keep the undefeated season alive, and Harrison West was flying everywhere. And on the next play, the quarterback would throw an interception, and we would win our 4th game of the season. Despite the huge win, Harrison West would have his worst game of the season, ending only with 1 total tackle, but that did not matter as long as we got the win. In our next game of the season, we would be taking on Deion Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes, where we would like to turn it around. And starting off the game, our kick return would kick to the outside, and we would look to take our biggest return of the season for 46 total yards. Harrison wanted to prove that he was just not a one-tackle player, and he was blowing up this quarterback power option on the first drive of defense, and we were carrying all the momentum in this game against Colorado. They would keep trying these quarterback read options and power options against us all game, and we were blowing up every single time as we blew up this one for a tackle for loss once again. A punt would pin them on the 2-yard line, and we almost had a safety tackle for loss here chasing down the running back. We were so close to making a huge highlight reel play. Harrison West was having his coming out party this game against Colorado, and he was hungry for the football carrier every single time they touch the ball. We would even have another tackle for loss on this next play. We would continue to ball in this game as we get another tackle right here on the running back. And even on the next play, the quarterback would scramble. We would hit him and force the ball loose, but his tight end would pick it up and save him. On this 4th and 3 play, they would run an outside zone and Harrison West would hit stick the running back to officially end Colorado's chances of winning this game. We would end up being the player of the game with 9 total tackles, 5 tackle for losses, a sack, and a forced fumble. This is undoubtedly our best game of the season. After an awesome performance, Harrison West would earn his first Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Week as well. In our next game against Washington, trailing 7, we are looking to get a stop on defense to help our offense out, and we are almost close enough to getting an interception on this next play as well as it falls to our feet. Forcing Washington to punt to us, we want to put our offense in good field position. We're going to break a tackle, take it to the outside, break another one, and we are on the opponent territory right now. Defense was balling all game as we carried confidence from the last one in Colorado. We were making tackles all over the place, forcing turnovers all the time, and our defense was on fire. Coach would finally put us on a safety blitz, and we were about to hit the quarterback. He gets it off, but we force a poor read, and we get an interception, and that one will not show up on the stat sheet for us. We started to pull away from Washington, and on this next drive, we would take a hit stick to the quarterback, and we were developing one of the hardest hitting mentalities in college football. We would go on to win 34-14 and keep our undefeated season alive, getting our 6th win of the season. In our next game, we wanted to keep our hot streak going. We would take on a 1-6 Washington State team, and we were still flying around, getting to the ball at every chance, and we were still looking for our first interception of the season. We were hungry for that football, blitzing the quarterback. We would miss the running back in the backfield on the option, but on the next play, the quarterback would pitch it to the running back, and boom, a hit stick behind the line of scrimmage for a negative 3-yard loss. It truly felt like Washington State had absolutely no chance against us as we slobber up the defense once again. On the punt return, we would kick it to the outside, and it felt like we were gone. We're going to have to work on this speed training in the offseason for sure as we get caught once again. We would pick up our 7th win as that was an easy one against a 1-6 team, but we would end the game with 6 total tackles and another game with 2 total tackle for losses. In our next game, we'd be taking on the UCLA Bruins, who are also in the Pac-12 conference. This should be a tough matchup. It would be another one of those games where our offense would struggle the entire game, but we were looking to take a big hit stick on Zach Charbonnet, and that was awesome to do. But on the next play, we would tackle our teammate and both let up a first down. That was rough. I felt like we were playing great defense all game, but DTR was making plays on the scramble and hitting wide receivers wide open and creating offense himself. With our offense struggling this game, we just had to keep UCLA out the end zone, and we had a chance. All we had to do was keep it a 1-possession game. We were flying all over the place, but they would end the second half off, kicking the 3 points and taking a 6-point lead. In the second half of this game, we were still doing everything we could to keep them out the end zone, and later in the drive, we would force a fumble from the running back, and this could be the momentum shifter to win us this game. With the 7-point lead, DTR and the UCLA offense was chugging along as they hit their tight end for a wide open pass on the sideline, but on the final play of the game, he would test us deep in the end zone, and we would drop our first interception chance of the year, but we would still win the game. In a tie game late in the 4th quarter against Utah, we are looking for another stop to maybe put our offense in good prime position to win this game. Desperate to make the college football playoffs, we are doing everything we can to get another stop here as Harrison West is feeling himself after another big hit stick. With our offense taking a 3-point lead, we needed to do everything we could to keep Utah out of the end zone, and we are taking hit sticks across the line, but they would still move the ball, picking up another first down right here. Utah is very desperate for any sort of offense right now. They are going to chuck up a streak on the sideline, and Harrison West is going to come down with it, being his first interception of the season, coming all the way in the 10th game of the year. In our next game against Arizona, we are trailing 5 in the 4th quarter with our undefeated season on the line. We are looking to do everything we can to get our comeback going, and we are flying to the football. On the next play on a 3rd and 15, the quarterback would force an awful read to the left side, and we would get an interception to hopefully spark a comeback. Our offense would get a 1-point lead for us, and we just had to hold them down for 16 seconds, but their quarterback would chuck it up, and we would get dunked on. Arizona's kicker would go on to hit a field goal to take a 2-point lead, and we would need an absolute miracle on offense. Only 1 second remaining for a play call after the kick return. Our quarterback would chuck it up, and nothing would come from it. After a brutal loss to a 3-7 Arizona team, Oregon would fall all the way down to number 20 in the college football playoff rankings. In spite of the loss, we still do have some good news as we finally became the Oregon defensive captain of the team. In the final game of the season, being the Pac-12 championship, we will be taking on the USC Trojans, who are currently ranked number 18 and have the best quarterback in college football, Caleb Williams. Fourth quarter of the next game, we would be taking on Caleb Williams in the USC Trojans, but we would look to get a stop here in the goal line, but USC was not backing down at all as he found Jordan Addison on a 4th and 1, and on the next play, they would throw a slant for an easy touchdown to cut the lead to 3. We wanted to get a good kick return to maybe get another score to make this a 2-possession game once again. We're going to cut it to the outside, make another man miss, and we are going to go all the way to the 40-yard line where we get caught once again. Although we had great field possession, our offense put up 0 points on that next drive, but Caleb Williams would be testing us deep on a post route, and we are going to get our second interception of the season against arguably the best quarterback in college football. We would clutch up and get the interception to end the game off, and that would be the biggest crucial play in the Pac-12 championship, and we looked like we were going to head on to a big bowl game. In our final game of our freshman season, we will be taking on the Ohio State Buckeyes in the Rose Bowl, and this is going to be our toughest matchup of the year. In our final game of the season, we wanted to prove to everybody why we're one of the best safeties in the nation. We would even end the first quarter holding Ohio State to 0 points. Still in a 0-0 game, Harrison West would meet the running back in the lane and get absolutely destroyed. That's the first type of adversity he's felt all his career. This drive has been really rough for Harrison as he misses another tackle right here just after getting ran over by the running back. Looking to bounce back in this drive, Kyle McCord would be bouncing it to the outside and he would juke us out of our shoes, and this is looking like one of our worst games of the season. Good news is we would later get our revenge on Kyle McCord as we hit stick him as he scrambles out, and Ohio State would settle for 3 right here to end off the half. Harrison would heat it up in the second half of the game, getting another hit stick right here, and Kyle McCord would scramble again, get the first down, but he was met with a hit stick. Ohio State would then settle for another 3, taking a 6-point lead, and we desperately need our offense to do something if we want any chance of winning this bowl game. Once again, our offense did not score, but we are looking to do anything on defense to create some turnovers, and we hit stick Kyle McCord for the 3rd time this game. Heating up and having one of our best halves of football, we are all over the place on defense, but Ohio State would chuck it up and get a deep bomb and get themselves inside the 10-yard line. We are looking to make a stop on 3rd and 10, and our DB makes a crazy acrobatic play, and they would take another field goal to take a 2-possession lead, leading us 9-0 in the 4th. Our offense would get a touchdown finally, and on this 3rd and 10, we would hold the Ohio State offense and get the ball back to hopefully tie or take the lead. Our offense would kick 3 and tie the game up, and Ohio State has one last second play before overtime, and it looks like we're going to overtime, baby. Our offense would take a 3-point lead in the first half of overtime, but we are looking to get a stop. We need to keep them out the end zone, and Kyle McCord is going to take it all the way up to the 7-yard line on a scramble. We did get them to a 3rd and goal, and Kyle McCord would chuck it up in the end zone, and we would drop an interception to win the game. They would later tie it up, and we are going to double overtime. With Ohio State starting with the ball in the second overtime, we are looking to get another stop or at least hold to 3, and we are going to hit stick the quarterback. Then we force a fumble on the wide receiver, but they luckily pick it back up. On the final 3rd and goal, Kyle McCord would test us, and we would get our biggest pass breakup of the season right there, and they would settle for their 5th field goal of the game. We need to score. Our offense would end up scoring on the first possession of double overtime, and Harrison West has won the Rose Bowl in his freshman season as one of the best safeties in the nation. If you've made it this far in the video and you are enjoying the RTGs, make sure to hit that like and hit that subscribe. We have so many more to come.